Good morning everyone. My name is Boris and Olamit and I am your science teacher. So today we're going to learn a new topic in physical science. But before we will proceed to the discussion of the topic, I want somebody from the class to summarize our previous discussion. So anyone? Yes, Mr. Dixon. Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer, Mr. Dixon. So yesterday we discussed about the changes in matter, in which we identify and differentiate materials, objects, and things that undergoes the process of physical and chemical changes. And we also discussed the importance of the changes in matter to the life of human being as well as in the development of the society. So now, let's go back to the main topic. So, for today's objectives, the students are expected to identify the reactant and product in the chemical equation and express the importance of chemical reaction to the life of man and other organisms. And also, you will calculate the number of atoms of an element of reactant and product to balance the chemical equation. So before we will proceed to the discussion of the topic or lesson, I will present you a video presentation and I want you to observe what will happen to the materials that are present in this video.
Chemical reactions are some of the most important processes on Earth. After all, without them, life would have never developed, and there wouldn't be the compounds necessary for our survival. Some chemical reactions are exciting to witness. With that in mind, don't forget to put on your safety goggles and stand back as we take a look at 15 incredible chemical reactions. Number 15, cesium and water. Most of us in science class will have seen what happens when a small piece of sodium is placed into a tank of water. In a short period of time, it begins to violently react, and if you're lucky, it may even explode. But sodium is only second on the list of the alkali metals. If you look further down the periodic table, you'll see that cesium, with an atomic number of 55, is fifth. It's actually the most reactive of all the metals. While it has a range of uses such as medicine, industry, and in scientific research, the best way to use it is to throw it into water and see what happens. In a similar way to sodium, when you cut into cesium, which is remarkably soft, you'll see it instantly react with the air, and bright and shiny surface becomes dull and tarnished. When it's added to water, though, the reaction is virtually instant, and it's something that should only be done under controlled conditions with experts. It produces a huge amount of heat, will shatter most containers that this happens in, and is over in an almighty bang. While it's visually spectacular, the speed of the chemical reaction it causes is also lightning quick. By adding the cesium to H2O, it produces cesium hydroxide and large amounts of hydrogen gas, which explains the violence of the reaction, the flammability, and the power and pressure that it creates.
Okay, that's all for that video. So what was your observation based on the video presented in the class? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Kenneth. Thank you for that wonderful answer, Mr. Kenneth. So in the video, we observed that there are two materials or substances added with each other. So once you add the cesium to the water, it explodes because of the chemical reaction happens between the two substances collide with each other or react with each other. So I have here the activity. Since you have gained little knowledge about the chemical reaction as well as the reactant and product based on the video that was presented. So in this activity, you will identify the reactant and the product of the following chemical equation. So we have here the list of chemical equations. So for this activity, you will need a 1/2 sheet crosswise, and I will give you 5 minutes to accomplish this activity. So your 5 minutes starts now. Time's up. Please pass all the paper to the front. So who want to share their answer to the class? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Gian. Thank you. Very good. You got all the answers. You can actually identify the reactant and the product in the chemical equation. And hopefully, others got the right answer also. For every chemical change that occurs, a new substance with different characteristics is formed. In chemical change, the composition of matter always changes. So, in the case of, in the video of cesium and water, we actually see that there is the production of another substance because of the chemical reactions between the cesium and the water. So chemical equation in chemistry, chemical equation is needed to find the amount of materials, reactant, that you need and the new substance or product to be formed in the chemical reaction. So the chemical equation is needed based on example. For you to find the amount of the materials based on examples, so the cesium, the symbol, the molecule of the cesium is collide or interact or react with the molecule of the water. So it produces cesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. So to balance the chemical equation of the number of atoms of an element and the reactant and the reactant of the product must be equal. So example, so we have here the sulfur added to the oxide, and it produces sulfur oxide. So the reactant there is the sulfur and the oxide, and the product is the sulfur oxide. So why do we need to understand this topic, or why do we need to study this topic or idea of the chemical reaction? Because through this we can improve the medical industry, and through research we can discover a new medicine that can cure disease in the future, in which it can improve the life of a person. So since you gain the knowledge, the knowledge of the chemical reaction, as well as you know how to identify which in the chemical equation is the reactant and the product. So now let's apply that knowledge. So we have here another activity. So in this activity, you're going to balance the following chemical equation. And you will need another 1/2 sheet of paper for this activity. And I will give you 5 minutes to accomplish this activity. So your 5 minutes starts now. So time's up. Please pass all the paper to the front. Now, who will share the answer to the class? Who will volunteer? Yes, Mr. Kenneth. Okay, very good. You got all the answer. You actually balance the following chemical equation that are being listed in this class. So, and hopefully others got the right answer also. So, hopefully that all of you know how to balance the following, or to balance the chemical equations. So for our evaluation, we will need another 1/2 sheet of paper to answer the questions in evaluation. So I will give you 5 minutes, another 5 minutes to accomplish this activity. So 5 minutes is up. Please pass all the paper to the front. And for your assignment, you have to read about the mole relationships in chemical equation in your textbook, Physical Science by Kaintik H. PhD, page 66. And I would like you to answer the following questions. What is the law of conservation of matter? That's all for today. God bless and thank you.